So today we discuss the process of transcription. In case of prokaryotes, there are three RNAs are involving in the transcription and the translation. Totally the protein synthesis process. They are mRNA, tRNA, and rRNA. So mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. So these three RNA forms are involving in protein synthesis. How they are going to involve and how they are going to conduct it with the protein synthesis. Means initially the transcription process is going to divide into the three stages. They are initiation, elongation, and termination. So termination process. Whether we are taking the transcriptional unit, already we discussed the transcriptional unit 5 prime, 3 prime, 3 prime, and the 5 prime here. So one is the coding strand and other one is the template strand here. So this one is the template strand. The template strand, that is a 3 prime end, or the coding strand, the 5 prime. The 5 prime to 3 prime direction which strand is presented, that is called as a coding strand, and the 3 prime to 5 prime direction which strand is presented, that is called as a template strand here. First step is the initiation. The RNA polymerase we are taking is going to recognizing the specific sequence of DNA templates we are taking. In the specific sequence of the DNA template. So whether we are taking into the coding strand the specific sequences, that is adenine and the thymine rich sequence, wherever it is presented in the DNA strand, that particular portion, the RNA polymerase, this is the RNA polymerase, so this is the RNA polymerase. Already the types of the RNA polymerase in the DNA, that is transcriptional unit characters, already we discussed. That RNA polymerase is recognizing the specific sequence of DNA templates here. So that specific sequence is rich with the adenine and the thymine. Or in case of the eukaryote, this specific sequence is called as a Tata box or the Pribno box or the Hegnes box here. Tata box, Pribno box or the Hegnes box. At the region of the Tata box or the Pribno box, first the RNA polymerase is going to bind it here. RNA polymerase is going to bind it. So after this RNA polymerase, this region is called as a promoter region, where it is going to bind. So that region is called as a promoter region. Promoter region. So first initially promoter region. This is a promoter. Promoter region. So in the promoter region, RNA polymerase is binding. So by recognition of this specific sequence, so later on it is moving towards in this direction. How it is going to binding here? So that process is called as a initiation. First one, it is called as a initiation. That means RNA polymerase is coming and attaches with the DNA templates. So that process is called as the initiation process. First initiate the transcription process. Later the RNA polymerase is start over moving towards structural gene here. So this is the structural gene. Structural gene it is. So towards the structural gene, the RNA polymerase is going to start into the movement. Already RNA polymerase structure we know that is a core enzyme, and the subunit. So these are the two parts are presented in the RNA polymerase. The core enzyme is forming by the two alpha, beta, and the beta prime, and the subunit sigma factor. So the subunit is a sigma factor. So whenever the RNA polymerase, the sigma factor is going to recognize. So this specific sequence is recognizing by the sigma factor. So the sigma factor, when it is going to recognizing into the coding stand RNA, adenine and the thymine rich sequences, that time the RNA polymerase core enzyme is coming and binded into the template stand, the region of the template stand. So this is called as an initiation. Once the initiation is over, next the RNA polymerase along with this sigma factor, it is start over the moving towards into the structural gene here. So first sequence we are taking here, the continuously whatever it is the nitrogen base sequences are present in the DNA, their complementary RNA stand is going to forming. That means a continuation addition of complementary nitrogen bases, the RNA polymerase polymerization process. So number of nucleotides are going to continually adding. This is occurs into the 5' to 3' direction. So the RNA is having into the 5' to 3' direction. It is going to synthesize because here the template stand is having the polarity 3' to 5'. The synthesis of the RNA polymerase occurs into the 5' to 3' that means the new nucleotides are going to adding. So RNA polymerase, they are continuously going to adding into the nucleotides into the 5' to 3' direction. So this is the process is called as a elongation. So elongation is going to occur continuously moving of the RNA polymerase. After reaching of a certain distance in the DNA template, a specific sequence is going to forming. The specific codon is going to forming. A specific sequence, a nucleotide sequence is going to forming. So that region is called as a termination region. Termination. So sequence here. Whenever it is going to recognizing into this termination sequence, the RNA polymerase is recognizing the termination sequence. So this sequence is not coded for the any amino acids. It is not a structural sequence here. So because of the non-structural genes or the non-coding sequence, these are not adding into the nucleotides. So the RNA polymerase is going to hair looping, and here the sigma factor is going to releases before reaching into the termination. Sigma factor is going to releases from this complex, and the core enzyme is also separated from the template here. So this is occurs because of the Rho factor. The Rho factor, the RNA polymerase, whenever it releases into the sigma factor, so next the Rho factor, the Rho unit, that is the Rho subunit, is going to add it into the termination site. So the sigma factor is releases from this RNA polymerase. So RNA polymerase is leave from the DNA template here. So it is called as a Rho dependent termination. Rho dependent termination is going to occur in case of the prokaryotic organisms here. So like this, once the RNA polymerase starts here and moving is elongation, and finally it reaches into the termination site, and it is going to separate it from the template stand to RNA polymerase. So thereafter the RNA is not going to synthesize here. So RNA, the naked RNA is going to releases into the nucleus. From the nucleus to it comes out into the cytoplasm to conducting into the translation process here. So this is the mechanism in the 3 steps. It is going to occur in case of the transcription. But here in case of the prokaryotes, the eukaryotes, prokaryotic organisms prokaryotic and the eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic organisms. The prokaryotes are acting as their genome, their DNA is acting as a polycystonic DNA, and the eukaryotes you are taking means it acts as a uni or monocystonic here. So polycystonic and the monocystonic form. So what it is mean by the polycystonic and the monocystonic means polycystonic, first we are taking the prokaryotes. The prokaryotes, whatever the RNA is going to forming, the RNA which is going to synthesize from the DNA molecule of the prokaryotes, the entire sequence is coding for the any one of the specific amino acid. That means in between them all the sequences of the mRNA is codes for the amino acids here. So there is no intermediate non-coding sequences are presented, and these codes are going to synthesize into the more than the one polypeptide here. That means one mRNA is going to synthesize the so many number of the amino acids here. So it is called as a polycystonic mRNA. In the prokaryote, the polycystonic mRNA is going to form. In case of the eukaryotes, we are taking monocystonic mRNAs are going to synthesizing here based on the DNA sequences only. How and why it is means, in case of the eukaryotes, we are taking in the structural gene position along with the coding strands and the non-coding strands, that is the coding DNA and the non-coding DNA is both are presented. That means the sequence which is presented the structural gene, some number of the nitrogen bases are coded for the specific amino acid, and the some number of the amino acids are not coded for the any specific amino acid. That means so both the coding and the non-coding sequences nitrogen bases are present. So these are going to, in the eukaryotes you are taking means the one structural gene or one mRNA. This is the one mRNA. One mRNA is synthesizing into the one peptide, polypeptide only. So one polypeptidal bond only. These are coding for the only one polypeptide. So it is called as a monocystonic mRNA. Here the prokaryote we are taking means it is codes for the more than one polypeptide. That means so many polypeptidal chains are coding for from the one mRNA. So like this, the prokaryote and the eukaryote mRNAs are going to having the differences in their structures we are taking. So this is into the way the mRNA is going to forming the process of the transcription we are taking. In case of prokaryotes we are taking means, while the synthesis of the mRNA simultaneously it starts into the translation process also. That means before completion of the mRNA synthesis, so before releasing of the mRNA, so the translational units are start over into the translation process. That means the transcriptional unit before leaving into the transcriptional unit, and the translational process is going to start it, and the translation is occurs. They are producing their specific amino acid. Polypeptidal chains are going to synthesizing here. So this is into the transcriptional process of prokaryotes we are taking by using of the RNA polymerase we are taking. But in case of the eukaryotes we are taking means, there are the three forms of RNA polymerases are involving into the eukaryotes. Three types of the RNA polymerases are involving in case of the eukaryotes. So what are those three types of the RNA polymerases? Means RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, so pol 2, and the RNA polymerase 3. 3. So RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2 and the RNA polymerase 3. So in this, RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for rRNA, synthesis of the rRNA, and the RNA polymerase 1 is responsible for tRNA. So tRNA activation and the hnRNA and the rRNA. So synthesizing to the tRNA, hnRNA and the rRNA. So not hnRNA, snRNA, not hnRNA. snRNA and the rRNA. The RNA polymerase 2 is responsible for hnRNA, and later it is going to act as a precursor for mRNA. It is going to act for mRNA synthesis here. So like this, the 3 types of RNA polymerases are involving into these 3 steps here. These 3 types of the RNAs are going to synthesize. So RNA polymerase 1 we are taking tRNA, snRNA and rRNA is producing. RNA polymerase 3 we are taking ribosomal RNA, rRNA is going to produce. In that too we are taking 28S, 18S and the 5.8S. So ribosomal RNAs are going to synthesizing or activated with the help of RNA polymerase 3, and RNA polymerase is going to activate the tRNA for the next the translation process. Here hnRNA is going to form in case of the eukaryote. So hnRNA means heteronucleotide RNA or heteronucleotide. So RNA is going to synthesize here. What it is mean by the heteronuclear RNA means, whenever the transcription process is going to occur in case of the eukaryotes, so 3' to 5', 5' to 3', that means whenever RNA polymerase is start over into the transcriptional process and elongating and finally it reaches into the termination process, it is going to synthesizing, the RNA polymerase is going to synthesizing whatever it is a sequence is present at the structural gene. So already we discussed in case of the eukaryote, the nucleotide sequence, whatever it may be present in the template stand, so their complementary coding stand, so their complementary stand is called as a coding stand. The same sequence is going to synthesize into the RNA. So this one, the RNA, whatever it is going to synthesizing, so this is the primarily RNA polymerase is going to synthesize. This RNA is called as a hnRNA. This is called as a heteronucleotide RNA. Heteronucleotide. Why we call as a heteronucleotide RNA means, whether you are taking into the structure of this RNA, hnRNA we are taking means, suppose this is a hnRNA is having into the specific sites into the RNA structure. So these are the exon and introns, and then the exon and intron. So that means some specific portion of the RNA, this is the RNA form only, so some specific portion of the RNA in this portion, so whatever the nucleotides are presented, they are code for the amino acids. This sequence is code for the some specific amino acids here, and here whatever it is the sequence is presented, the intron region, so these are not code for the any amino acids. Amino acid is not coding. These are not coding for the any amino acids here. Again the exon, here the sequence is coding for the some specific amino acids here. Like this, alternatively. So the number of sequence, amino acid sequence, the alternatively they are going to interrupted by the certain nucleotide sequences here. So those are called as the introns. In between the, so structural genes, whatever it is the sequence is presented, they are called as the introns. And wherever the structural genes or the amino acid producing codes or nucleotides are presented, they are called as the exons here. Exons, introns, like that. The entire length of the mRNA is going to synthesize here by the process of the transcription. So initially, whatever this mRNA is going to forming, this is called as a hnRNA. So this is only called as a hnRNA. So like this, the hnRNA is going to synthesize this into the RNA polymerases and forming the first initially unprocessed RNA. mRNA is going to, so hnRNA is nothing but as mRNA only, but it is having the number of introns and the exons. Later these introns and the exons, already we discussed, the hnRNA is act as a precursor for mRNA. It is not a completely active mRNA. For the translation process, it is not going to useful here. This hnRNA, so this is a hnRNA. This hnRNA is going to conduct it autonomously. Autonomously means their own, it is going to conduct it. The process is called as a splicing. So this is the process is called as a splicing here. So for example, this is the region of exon. I am differentiating into the colors. So this is into the region of exon, and this is the region of exon, and this is the region of exon here. So wherever the exons are presented, that particular region of the mRNA is going to splices it here, slicing. For this, the specific proteins are needed, that is spliceosomes are presented in the nucleus. They are going to conduct it into the splicing or slicing. Slicing means cutting here. So wherever the exon region is there, that particular portions only they are going to break down, splices here. After the splicing, whatever the introns are there, they are going to remove, and the only exons are going to attaches here. So like this, the number of exons are going to combining and forming into the mRNA. So this is called as a processed mRNA. So mRNA is going to form. So in this all the ways 5' to 3' direction. Here also 5' to 3' direction. Here also 5' to 3' direction. The processed mRNA is going to forming here. But after the splicing, spliceosomes, that is autonomous splicing process, processed hnRNA is going to forming mRNA. But mRNA nakedly like this, it is not going to produces in case of the eukaryotes. So it is going to, it is undergoes into the a certain process. The 5' end of the mRNA is going to capping. So this is process is called as a capping, and the 3' end of the mRNA is going to tailing here. So it is undergoes into the tail. Capping and the tailing, these are the two processes are occurs in case of the mRNA synthesis. Why this capping and why this tailing means? To prevent the, actually whatever it is the mRNA activated mRNA, processed mRNA is produces, it is having the completely structural gene sequences are presented. Even though one amino acid damage, one nucleotide damage, it leads into the variations into the protein synthesis. So that to preventing into the damage of the both the ends, the transcriptional unit is going to process it into the mRNA. The 5' end it is going to adding into the methylated guanine triphosphate. So methylated guanine triphosphate is going to adding into the 5'. So it is called as a 5' capping. Like this, a cap like the 5' end it is going to covered by the methylated guanine triphosphate is going to added. The same way, the preventing into the damage of the 3' end, that is the 3' end, the number of amino acids, adenosine nucleotides, adenosine molecules are going to adding as a number. So generally these are going to adding the 200 to 300 nucleotides are going to adding as a chain like after the 3' end of the termination we are taking. Like this, the 5' end and the 3' end, both are going to protected by these specific structures. One is into the capping and other one is called as a tailing here, because here these are forming the 200 to 300 nitrogen base. At this state, this mRNA, so this is the mRNA, activated mRNA form. This activated mRNA is going to involving into the further step into the translation in case of the eukaryotes ARNA. So like this, the prokaryotic mRNA and the eukaryotic mRNA is going to changes. In case of the prokaryotes, you are taking these processing of the mRNA, hnRNA formation, the processing of the mRNA splicing, and the splicing process is totally opposite in case of the prokaryote. But in the eukaryotes are presented in this autonomous, their own, the mRNA, hnRNA is going to process it their own and producing into the mRNA. So up to here it is a mechanism of transcription process here. Next one is a genetic code. Genetic code we are taking means. So what it is mean by the genetic code? And how it is important to the protein synthesis and the transfer of the characters. Actually we know that the DNA is going to transfer the characters from one generation to the next generation. Characters are transfers. So one generation to next generation, DNA characters are going to transfer. That means the DNA is carried the hereditary process here. How the DNA is carrying into in this transformation of the characters from the one generation to the other generation means. So based on their information, the information is going, the transformation process, that is hereditary process, is nothing but as a transfer of the information from the one generation to other. So the information is presented into the DNA. So this information, how it is going to transfer into the next generation means, or the information whatever it is presented in the DNA, how it is going to express it means, as in the form of the expression only. The DNA is going to express it. Whatever the information is presented, information is going to presented into the DNA. This is as in the form of the code. So this is as in the form of the code here. So information is stored into the DNA as in the form of the code. So these codes, these number of the codes are responsible for the production of the specific proteins in case of the organism. So those proteins are going to expressing as a characters here. How they are means, whether you are taking into the DNA molecule, the entire length of the DNA is having the specific nitrogen base sequences are going to presented here. So like this, the specific nitrogen base sequences are presented. In the specific nitrogen base sequences, continuously, for example, in case of the mRNA, the processed mRNA, prokaryotes or the eukaryotes we are taking means, the mRNA we are taking means, in mRNA, every 3 nitrogen base sequence. So this is into the first 3 nitrogen. Continuously, the 3 nitrogen base sequence is coded for the one specific amino acid here. And this is coded for the another specific amino acid. And this is coded for the another specific amino acid. So like this, each 3 triplet code of the nucleotides are coding for their own specific amino acids. Like that we are taking the totally the combinations of these 4 types of the nucleotides with the triplet codes are going to forming adenine, guanine, cytosine and the thymine. So in case of the RNA, thymine, instead of the thymine, it is presented into the uracil. So here also adenine, guanine, cytosine and the uracil. So these are going to, we are going to conduct it here adenine, guanine, cytosine and the uracil. So we are going to taking, so AAG and the AAC and the AAU, like this. We are going to writing in all the possible combinations with these 4 nitrogen base nucleotides with the triplet. So these are going to forming the, so 4 into, that is a 4 factorial, it is going to forming totally 64 codes are going to forming here. Totally 64 codes are going. So these codes are called codon. Each code is called as a one codon. That means the mRNA regularly, continuously, whatever the 3 nitrogen base sequence are presented, this is called as a one codon, and this is called as another codon, and this is called as another. Like this, the number of codons, totally the 64 varieties of the codons are forming these 4 types of the nucleotides into the mRNA. These 64 codons, each codon, for example, you are taking UUU, so the triple U or UUA is going to synthesize, or it is going to synthesizing into the amino acid, that is into the phenylalanine. Yeah, take means phenylalanine is going to code for the UUU, or the UUA is coding for the phenylalanine. So like this, each codon is having their own specific amino acid is going to synthesizing here. It is specific for their own. Like that we are taking the human prokaryotes, in case of the prokaryotes or the eukaryotes, the biological system, almost all the biological systems are more or less, they are becomes into the similar. They synthesizes with the help of these nucleotide sequences, with the help of these codons, they are going to synthesize into the 20 types of the amino acids only. The 20 different types of the amino acids are going to synthesizing. So in that, some of them, they are into the 8 is becomes into the essential, and the remaining 10 is into the non-essentials, are they are presented. So these 20 amino acids, in that some amino acids are code for the one genetic code. Only one codon is presented. They are coded only by the one codon. So these are called, this type of the codons or this type of the amino acids called as a ambitious codons here. These are called as ambitious codon. That means these codons only they are going to code by the only the one amino acid. So one codon is going to giving it, one amino acid is going to so coded by the only the one codon. Those type of the amino acids are called as a ambiguous codon, ambiguous amino acid, and those codons are ambiguous codons here. Suppose some of the, for example here the phenylalanine, it is coded by the 2 codons here. That means one amino acid is coding by the 2 types, or the 2 or the more types of the so codons here, 2 or the more varieties of the codons. Like that, it is going to coding by the only the one amino acid. So these are called, so these are into the like this polymorphic polymer here phenylalanine like multiple codons here, multiple codons. So these amino acids are coded by the multiple codons. Like this, totally the 64 codons we are taking. These are codes for the 20 amino acids only. These are codes for the, that means one codon or one amino acid, either it is coding at least in the one codon or the more than the one codon. Okay, but at least one codon is required for the synthesis of one amino acid here. So like this, the total table we are taking means 64 codons with their specific amino acid sequences are presented. So this is regarding to the codon, genetic code, nothing but as the triplet code, the triplet nucleotide sequence, the triplet nucleotide sequence of the amino acids, nucleotide sequence of the mRNA, which is going to produce us into the specific amino acid. This is called as a genetic code. Like this, DNA to mRNA is going to copy the information as a codes. That code is storing the information from the mRNA to tRNA, tRNA to the rRNA is going to process into this information, and they are going to synthesize into the amino acids. So this is regarding to the genetic code.